everybody, and welcome to Vintage Markets Inside the Charts. My name is Tamar Mehr from Trade with Precision. So, recent trade tension flare ups between the US and China saw a strong sell off of the Aussie dollar on Friday. And what I've got here is the Aussie versus the US on the daily chart, and we are back into a downtrend. We broke this very strong level of in and around the 0.65, which was also the previous swing low. Now we can see here we do have agreement on the momentum indicators to the downside, but we don't have the moving averages changing direction yet. If we'll jump straight into the monthly, we can see that the monthly basically has been pulling back from a lower low and could potentially be printing a lower high. We do have the moving averages 10, 20, 50 still fanning, still in the correct order for a downtrend here. But on the weekly is a different story. As the higher time frame we're pulling back, the lower time frame changed direction, and we are still in an uptrend while we're pulling back almost toward the 100%, which is in and around the area of 0.64, and it's another very strong support and resistance level. So going down the time frame into the 4 hours, and we can see we do have a nice downtrend here, but we're also very overextended, meaning quite a distance between where price action sits right now and the moving averages. So I'm looking for a bit of a pullback, release some of the strong selling pressure, and a continuation of this move toward the area of the 0.64. So what I'd like to do is add the Fibonacci retracement from the high to the low, and what we can see, we have the 50% retracement clustering very nicely with this previous swing low. And even when the market will pull back into that area, it will also be closer to its averages. We also have a nice agreement here to the downside from the momentum indicators. Next, I'd like to take a look at the chart of dollar yen and do something similar. So here, there are two areas that I'm looking for a pullback. The first one is the previous swing high in and around the 150, so also the round number. And the second level, the green line, is actually the swing high on the weekly, so we can see that touch over here. So on the daily, we are back into an uptrend, and I'd like to add the Fibonacci retracement. So from the low to the high. And what we can see is that on the level of the 150, we got a clustering with a 50% retracement, and the previous swing high on the weekly, that is clustering with the 0.3820 area. So we do have the moving averages 10, 20, 50 fanning and in the correct order. We do have convergence here to the upside on the momentum indicators. So just as Aussie dollar, I'm looking for this pullback to reach those areas. Any signs that the pullback is over, buyers are coming back into this market and looking for a continuation of this move. Next, I want to take a look at the chart of oil. So oil has been selling off as tension in the Middle East have eased up. So what I've got here is the daily chart, and we can see here on the daily we are in a downtrend. Moving average is 10, 20, 50 fanning and in the correct orders, and convergence here on the last move on the momentum indicators. So let's add here as well the Fibonacci retracement from the high to the low, and we can see that we've got the area of the 50% clustering also with this previous swing low. And if I'll zoom out a bit, we can see that we also have a level at that area as well. So it's quite an important area. It's in and around the $60.5 mark. So I'm looking once again for a pullback, really some of the selling pressure and a continuation of the move. A quick look on the monthly chart, and let me just delete this so we can see the monthly chart. We can see that we are still in a downtrend and coming very close to the previous swing low. Next, I want to take a look at the chart of gold. Now, gold here has got on the monthly chart very overextended. We also broke through the psychological level of 4,000. So if we'll take a look here on the weekly, we can see we're also very overextended. So when I look at the daily chart, I'm looking for area for the market to pull back into. And on the daily chart, I'm looking at the area of the 3,900. 100. If and when the market will pull back into that area, it will also be back into the averages on the daily chart. But we have to keep in mind that the higher time frame are very overextended. So I'm looking for short pullbacks and continuation of this move. Lastly, let's take a quick look at silver. Now, silver has broken through its highest level since the famous Hunt Brothers squeeze of the 1980. It pinged through the area of 50. We can see we do have two rejections here. So once again, I'm looking for pullbacks in the context of this time frame. So in the daily, in and around the 48.50 area. But we do have to keep in mind that higher time frame are very overextended, and we have had a strong push into a big level, so we could see a further pullback. We also have here on the 4 hours, we already made a lower high here. There's three rejections of this high, but so far we're holding above the level of 49.70. Happy trading, everyone. Bye for now.